It's a good feeling.
Yeah, so please be nice to him. I was also born in Amsterdam, sadly not raised. I had 2 murders in my street, so my parents were like, we're getting out of here. Fair enough. And when I was 20, I was like, I think I can handle it, and I've been doing fine for the last 6 years, so nothing to worry about. I know a lot about Amsterdam. I also take a lot for granted, so if you see anything during the tour, let me know. Also makes it more fun for us. Some people have the orange wristbands. Can I see them? Great. You guys have the cheese and wine included. If people still want to upgrade, it is possible. It's 10 euros per person, and then you get the cheese platter. So there was this guy, and he murdered a very famous politician from the Netherlands. So
Very great, wonderful. But a little bit about the history of Amsterdam. Amsterdam started as a small fisherman's village back in 1275, with the main catch being haring. Is anyone eating haring? Herring. No? Okay, it's not even that good. It's just raw fish with onions. But yeah, the city started to become a little bit bigger as a village, and about 30 years later, in 1306, the Count of Holland, Floris V, actually gave the city toll privileges. Toll privileges meant that you didn't have to pay money to the tax, you didn't have to pay tax to the count, and actually made sure that the city had its own judicial system.
Spices. And then we would store it in the houses. Government was super smart, and they were like, if you have a bigger house, you can store more spices, you can earn more money, so you can pay more taxes. So they decided to tax people based on the width of their houses. Do you guys know the saying going Dutch? Splitting the bill? Yeah, we don't like spending money at all. So we were like, okay, how can we kind of avoid this? And that's by building the house. Why we all have the hooks underneath. We would throw a rope over it, connect it to the spice crate, and then hoist up the spices to store them high and dry. Hoog en droog in the beautiful Dutch language.
How about the modern buildings? Are they required to have the hoist? No more.
Yeah, well, it's not for the spices anymore, but for furniture.
Oh.
So sometimes you can still find people hoisting up like a.
Yeah.
On that day, going from one side to the other side. Turns out he wasn't wearing a belt. Nice. fence came down. Actually, they're making new rules now. Okay. So, yes, are they? Price will be. Yeah, it's more like if you want it. And then here on the left side, we call this one the Kim Kardashian. Which is shaped after the pregnant belly of the wife of the architect, so that's why it has the curves. So after the Second World War, we had a lot of labor in the city, but not a lot of houses. So we said, come to Amsterdam and moor your boat here for free. Well, if you say anything is free to a Dutch person, we'll come running. So that's what happened, and it was free because they weren't using any of the utilities of the city. So they were not connected to gas, water, electricity, or sewage. So all the sewage would go straight into the canal. Still the amount that we have today. Shaped like that, we call a cargo ship. One of the first shoebox. And then here we have the hybrid, which is like the cargo ship with the shoebox on top of it. Now, if you spent over the years to stay in our system, and now we don't care anymore. If you don't have a naked neighbor, you are the naked neighbor over here.
It's like Florida.
Translated to skinny bridge, but it's also known as the lover's bridge. What does this mean? Well, if you kiss on top or underneath the bridge, your love will last forever. Way cheaper than buying those locks. Of the magere brug. Smaller bridge, smaller commitment. So if you get on top of that one, your love will last for 20. They're much wider. These people could pay those taxes and they wanted to pay those taxes. You will also tax on the amount of windows that you had, and then especially the amount of squares your window has, and the amount of steps in front of.
Mostly heavy that's also why it has to have a lot of square crossing all over to get that.